Saturday morning flow with Brother Dearest. Okay, let's just start bringing the chin down towards the chest first. And then rolling the head over to the one side. And then moving back through the center, so bringing it forward and taking it across. Now if it feels okay through the neck, circle the head around the back. Otherwise keep rocking it forward, but just take it nice and slowly. And then take another circle in the opposite way. Oh my gosh, that feels great. Okay, so after that circle, re-lift up through the head and then lift the shoulders up towards the ears and let them circle back and down. And then take it slowly and then feel each of that movement. So as you lift the shoulders and then think or feel any other parts of the body that start to lift as well. And as you roll the shoulders back, maybe creating that opening across the front. As you draw them down and forward, that opening in the back. Okay, let's just go one more circle. And then from here, we're sweeping the right arm up towards the ceiling and start to circle around. Just go 3 circles one way with this arm. And the same thing, so as you reach the arm up, feel maybe a little lift through the side. As you reach it back, that opening through the shoulder. And as you come forward, a little bit more space through the shoulder blades. Okay, then circle the arm the opposite way, so the same 3 times, all the way around. And then moving to the other side, so the left arm's reaching up. And you're bringing that same awareness. So as you lift, so each point of that circle, as you lower, maybe the shoulder stretching in the neck. Is that 3?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then the other way. So you're taking it slowly so you've got time to feel it out through the body. So then lifting both arms up towards the sky and then open to soft cactus arms, and from here draw the elbows back, and then we're finding just a gentle opening into the heart, and then bringing the elbows together in front of you round the spine and creating now just a little bit of mobility and space through the spine. So elbows are drawing back. You can start to draw the tailbone back, and then as you tuck the tailbone forward, round the spine and start to reach the elbows together. Just go a couple of times. Awesome. Okay, and then come back to the center. Arms can relax by the side. And then bring the chin back towards the chest and feel like you're peeling out from a wall. So roll yourself down. The knees can be soft, they can be straight, whatever feels good through the hamstrings. And then I want you to take the tips of the fingers or even the palms towards the floor. So bend the knees as much as you need. And then sliding the hands to the shins, just lifting halfway up and start to lengthen forward through the crown of the head. And then as you fold back down, relax the upper body and then begin to roll up into that standing. Okay, so from here we're going to move straight into our salutations. So as you reach the top, the arms are floating up and over the head. The palms connect and your hands are drawing to your heart. And with your next breath, float the arms up and over. And folding forward, hinge from the hips are sweeping back. And find that halfway lift, lengthening forward. And then fold, bring the palms to the floor and step back to your plank pose. So legs can extend, knees can be connected to the mat. And then from here, we're pushing forward on the toes, so bring the shoulders over the wrists and keep the elbows close as you lower all the way down onto the mat. Yes. Okay, so from here, take the hands out wide and TP the fingers. That'll be a bit lighter on the wrist. Roll the shoulders back and then lift into the heart. Now you need to feel the belly button drawing gently in and then feel the shoulder blades depressing down the back here. So we want to feel the shoulders moving away from the ears and then soften back down into the floor. Is that okay with your wrists? Okay, so just 2 more times. Coming up into that cobra, shoulders are soft, and then rolling back towards the earth. 1 more time. And then this time as you release, bring the hands in and then press back to your child's pose. So hips are coming into the heels And we want to reach the arms forward, so keep the arms nice and long. Okay, so from here, walk your hands back towards your knees, and we're curling the toes under and rolling onto the soles of the feet. And then lifting the hips, fold forward, and roll yourself up, vertebrae bend. Arms are floating up and over the head, palms are connecting, and taking your hands to your heart. Awesome. With the next breath, arms reach up and over. And then folding forward, bring the hands onto the mat. Halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And then as you fold, place the palms to the floor and walk your hands forward, finding that plank pose. Bending the elbows, lower all the way to the mat. And those 3 fluid breaths. Take the hands out wide, TP the fingers, roll the shoulders back and lift into the heart. And then rolling the front body back into the mat. Keep the head lengthening out. In breath as you rise, and then out breath as you sink. And finding that same fluid motion, breathing as you come up and releasing. Bring the hands in, press back to your child pose, curl the toes. The arms are reaching long to bring that stretch all the way down the side. Then walk the hands back to the knees. Roll back onto the feet, finding that forward fold. And then roll yourself up, vertebrae. Arms reach over the head, palms connect, and then the hands are drawing to your heart. And just one more round like that. So in breath as the arms reach up and over. Out breath as you fold. Halfway lift, lengthen to the crown. Folding as you release the hands, and high plank as you walk the hands forward. Lower down all the way to the mat. And this time take the hands out wide, TP the fingers, roll the shoulders back and lift into the heart. Now this time just soften the right shoulder and the right ear down towards the floor. And coming back to the center and move across to the other side. So that's getting a little deeper into the shoulders. Does that feel good? Come back to the center and then roll the heart onto the floor. Bring the hands in, press back to your child pose. Arms are reaching long, and this time we're lifting the hips and finding your downward dog. So hips are rising, heels can start to walk out here. So just bending one leg at a time. Okay, so from here bring the feet together, look to the fingers, and then rise onto the toes and either step or jump forward to the top of the mat. Yes, and find that halfway lift here. And then as you fold, we're going to step back with the left foot. So take the left foot to the back of the mat, bring the knee all the way down onto the floor, and then lifting through the torso, sweep the arms up and over the head. Now you want to lift through the hips just a little bit to lengthen down through the tailbone, and then re-sink the hips just to get that stretch into the hip flexors. All right? So if it feels okay through the shoulders, or if you're feeling pretty tight, keep the arms low, otherwise reach them up. Awesome. So from here, sweep the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and draw the arms back, lifting forward through the chest. And then nice and easy, hands can come onto the floor, and we're stepping back to our high plank. So extend your legs, bend the elbows and lower down. Keeping the hands where they are, rise up into your cobra. Elbows are staying close, yes. And then pressing into the hands, downward dog, lift into the hips. Bring the feet together. Look up to the fingers, rise to the toes, bend the knees, and step or jump to the top. Halfway lift, lengthen forward, and then fold, stepping back with your right foot. Knee releases onto the mat, and then upward through the torso. Find that alignment down the center, and the arms grow long or stay low. Yes. Okay, so keep drawing the belly in, lifting through the center, and then sweep the hands behind, keep the shoulders soft as you draw the arms back, and just a nice gentle back bend. Bring the hands to the floor and step back to plank. This time bring the knees onto the mat, and then we're bending the elbows and just lowering halfway down, or keeping the body hovering. Now here, still feeling the elbows drawing back to the toes, the shoulder blades drawing down the back, and then release all the way down. Roll up into your cobra, and then downward dog, lifting into the hips. Awesome. Okay, so from here, right leg's going to lift up towards the ceiling. step forward in between the hands, and we're coming up to our crescent lunge. So keep the front knee stacked on top of the ankle, arms are floating up and over the head, and that same alignment down the center. So tuck the tailbone in if you need to lift the hips just a little higher to sink back down through the tailbone and get that stretch. Yes. Okay, so from here, release the arms by the side and bring your back knee all the way to the floor. Okay, so we're going to bring a little bit more strength into each leg. From there where you are, pressing down through the front foot and to the back toes, rise up as tall as you can, lengthening through both legs. Now here you want to engage through the front and the back of each leg. And then arms are rising up and over the head. And then we're lowering the knee back down, but keeping it hovering above the floor. And the arms can relax by the side. Okay, so with the breath, rising back up and pressing into that grounding point as you lift. And then releasing, keeping the knee hovering just above the floor. Again, one more full breath, up. And then releasing the knee, softening down. So come up, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Keep the arms where they are and sink back into your crescent lunge. Take the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and stretch the arms back, lift into the heart. And then from here, fold just halfway down. Keep the belly lifted, and then sweep the arms forward and over the head, bringing the arms in line with the ears. Now reaching just a little bit longer, and then bringing the hands to the floor. Step back to your three-legged dog, so right foot's rising up, and then lowering down to the mat. Left leg's lifting up towards the sky. Step forward in between the hands, and we're finding that crescent lunge, so lift through the torso, align the body before you sink through the hips. Arms reaching over the head. And then bring the back knee onto the mat, arms released by the side. So relax here through the upper body, the arms take the rest. And then as you bring yourself up, lengthen through the legs, arms can float overhead. Softening the knee down. Keep it hovering just above the floor, relax the arms. In breath as you rise, and out breath as you release. One more full breath, or kind of 1.5. And then releasing. And then coming all the way back up. And keep the arms where they are, lower down into that lunge, hands sweep behind you, interlace the fingers and arms are drawing back. Now leading with the heart, fold halfway down, and we're lengthening from the back heel and then reaching the arms over the head. So reaching long through the fingers, take another breath right here, and then take the hands onto the floor. So your three-legged dog, left foot rising, and then lowering onto the mat. Now from here, roll forward into your plank pose. Bring the feet together and keeping the inner foot or inside of each foot connected, shift the heels over to your left side. And the feet should be stacked one on top of another, and you're feeling that rotation through the spine. And then come back to the center and over to your right. Awesome. Come back to the center and lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana, so keep the body hovering just above the mat. From here, press up into your cobra or upward dog, and then downward facing dog, lift into the hips. Awesome. Bring the knees onto the mat. Let the hips sink back into the heels, child pose. Okay, so coming up onto all fours. Now from here, we're going to extend your right leg towards the back. And then from there, draw the right knee up towards the right elbow. Okay, then we're taking the foot in front of your bottom knee, and then we're opening the feet out to either side. So we're coming into Gomukhasana. So walk your hands back, and we're gonna let the hips sink down onto the mat, and we want the knees almost in line with one another, but this is super difficult. So just take them where it feels comfortable. So you're gonna feel that stretch through the outside of the legs, through the hips.
Good.
Okay, so the hands can come just down onto the floor and then lifting up through the spine. Relax through the hips, relax through the lower body. And then let yourself fold forward just to a depth that feels comfortable. And just take a couple of breaths right there. And then nice and easy, come all the way up. Let yourself roll forward, come onto the hands.
I don't roll forward.
Okay, so bring the feet back in, and then we're sliding the right knee over to your right elbow. And we're finding our pigeon pose. So extending the left leg back. See how these feel through the hips, and make sure you're not loading too much on that front knee. So if it feels more comfortable without too much pressure, bend into the back leg. Yes. And then you want to just move around a little bit through the hips and through the torso. It's going to depend for everyone where you sink your body down. So where you want to feel that stretch, yeah. And then you want to relax.
Right.
So it's nice, pop your forehead onto something. So either make fists with your hands or onto the back, yes. And so from here you can give yourself, and it gives those messages to your body that you can let go. And relax. And nice and gently, just start to make your way up. Hands are there for support, and then extend through the back leg and just make your way back to all fours. So sliding that foot, and then the same on the opposite side. So the left leg's reaching back and up, and we're drawing the left knee over to the left elbow, and then giving yourself room for the foot to reach in front, and then the feet are opening out to either side, and we're sitting back into our Virabhadrasana. Okay, so here adjust however, you might feel tighter on one side than the other. Okay, so then that soft placement through the hands, and then that forward fold. That's it. Does it feel okay?
Yeah, it's really tight. Don't know if I can get myself out of this little knot thing.
Okay. Alright, so lift yourself back up and then roll forward. Maybe give yourself some momentum. Okay. And then bring the knee over just behind the left hand, and then the pigeon pose. It might feel okay to straighten this one out, otherwise bend the knee so you're not loading too much. Yes. Awesome. And then find again that range where you can let your body fall. Finished. 15 minutes.
That's good.
Well done.
Stretch.